I'm going to start the recording. I forgot to put that on there. So thank you for joining me here this morning. And I was just sharing with Paul that, you know, my goal is to continue to show up on Fridays and see who shows up. And look at Diane is showing up too. How cool is that? Diane, you're muted, and Barbara, now you're muted. Let's keep
Good morning.
Open. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm better. I didn't know you were having a session today. I was checking my messages and it said that there was a mentoring call, and then checking the Facebook group and I saw I had 74 new invitations. So thank you.
Remember, I told you that there's this way to get people to do this if they would only take the time. And so I was lying in bed making a bunch of invitations, and so hopefully some of them will come through.
74. So I'm over. Of course, not everybody has accepted yet, but yours makes my group over 100 now. So
yay! And I'm only just
excited.
done, right? Because there's more. That's all I could do in a short time. So Barbara and Paul are here with us, and I'm going to have everybody keep their mics open so that we don't have to go, unless you've got background noise. Of course, Barbara might have something going on there.
Yeah, I've got background noise, sorry.
Yeah. Well, welcome. And Paul is definitely the instigator to keep this Friday mentoring session going. And I just keep showing up because Paul is like, we got to keep this up. And so it's now the last Friday of the month. And we have this exact Zoom, and hopefully we'll always have the same Zoom. So just put it on your calendar, the last Friday of the month, every month. And if I'm not able to make it, I will definitely bring like Lee in to be the mentor. But what I believe, and I've shared this with you all before, is that although I'm the organizer and quote doing the Ask Bettina mentoring program, it's actually all of us are qualified to mentor each other. Right? Everybody has wisdom. I'm not the only one that has wisdom, but let's just start with anything that you're facing right now that you'd like some assistance with. And I'll go in the order in which people arrive. So it'll be first Paul, then Barbara, and then Diane. And then everybody can, you know, talk about the issue you're facing. So Paul, I know you just got through with an event for your children's efforts that you have there, and that was very successful, and I'm glad I was able to help a little bit out on that. And then you've got your business. So just to refresh everybody's memory, just real quick, you've got your charcoal lighter product, and you've got your cleaning business and cleaning products, all in Uganda.
Right. Thank you very much. Yes, it's April, 4 months down the road, 2022, and I'm glad to celebrate a milestone this month of getting my bank account up. It's been one of those things, getting ready to get the nets ready so that I'm able to fish.
Yes.
Bettina call it being bankable.
Yes,
so it's been a process getting all the documentations needed, and I feel yes, that's a big milestone taken. And the charcoal lighter, yes, the energy levels are up. We'll pick the date in May, mid-May, and we are going to launch this. We are going to launch this. So the question will be, how do you prepare? I've not launched a product before. Even my other cleaning products have never been launched, much as people on the market are using them and they are giving good feedback. So how do you make a high value, how do you make a launch of such a product that will cut across the market?
Yes, well, it's always good to involve other people, to be sure. So whenever I think about products coming to the market, so to speak, I always like to build them around an event so that I am event centered And of course, Barbara's in the event business, so she and I both would agree that when you bring people together for a product launch, it in an event setting, it opens up the possibility of a high energy in the right container. So the right venue and the right languaging of what you're doing, and then the word of mouth spreads like wildfire in comparison. I'll give you an example. So right now, I have a client who is a world famous UFC fighter in the martial arts, mixed martial arts. And he has a new product that is a tequila brand called Hayes Tequila that is being produced here in Washington. It's the Redmond, Washington area. And we're doing a product launch for him. And we're using an event as the way to launch the product. And actually, we're doing multiple events. So events in and of themselves they can be like a sinkhole and suck out a lot of money from you. So you have to be really careful to do it deliberately and try to find venues that are free, find supporters and helpers that are free, so that you're not spending a lot of money in a venue. Like we have the luxury of being able to have our launch at a really nice venue here. It's a racetrack, very well-known racetrack, who's just now turned into a casino as well. But it's going to cost us somewhere in the neighborhood of, $8,000 or $10,000, which is not what I would advise for you. What I would advise for you is that you find a free venue, and then we're using Eventbrite to register people to the event. In our case, we're actually charging a fee. In your case, you probably wouldn't charge a fee, but you'd want to know generally how who's interested in coming, right? So it gives you a way to track your people coming in. Now, if it turns out that you can only do it virtually, then of course I will help you with that, because I have a webinar feature on my Zoom account, and we could send them to a Zoom, and then you could do it all virtually. That will save a lot of money right there. Another thing that we do is we have a story. My writer, Connie Adams, who actually wrote a story for Diane, is who I use, and we'll pitch that to the media. So in the next week to 2 weeks, I'll start pitching the story to the media. You don't want to do it too soon, because like if I have a month, that's not considered news, right? Because if it's news, it's like it's tomorrow, it's next week, it's 5 days from now. So you want to develop your relationships with your media beforehand, which I already have, but you want to make sure that your story doesn't get released too soon, because it's not news unless it's happening like now, right? Now news. And then another thing that we're doing is we're gonna have video, and we have a videographer. Again, with these cell phones that we have these days, you really don't need a videographer in your case. You just need that phone that we bought. Those phones are amazing. Just capture the event and turn that into news as well. I call it be the media. So after the event occurs, we'll take all of our video production and we'll turn it into like a news story, and we become the media, and then we'll release that on social media. Now, the other piece of this is that we've done a lot around our social media, and he has nearly 2 million followers on Instagram alone. So we can put out the messaging in there. And while I'm actually talking about this, I probably should be showing you in addition, so that you get a drift of what I was talking about. And I don't know I don't know how Eventbrite works in Uganda per se. So I think we'd have to figure that out. Let me log out of this one and then log back in. I have multiple accounts with Eventbrite. Okay, so let me share this here. So what we did was we've put together some graphic artwork, and I'd be happy to help you with this, Paul. So we have some graphics in there. We've got the whole story of what's going to happen and what they're going to get when they get there. We actually also created this video.
When MMA legend Nick Diaz set out to make his new signature tequila, he wanted to create the spirit of a fighter.
Hope you can hear that.
Tequila Blanco.
Making its worldwide debut in the Seattle area Saturday, June 25th at Emerald Downs Casino and Racetrack. For tickets and info, go to HaysTequila.com, or if you're watching on a TV, scan the QR code. Tickets are just $75 and get you a signed bottle of Hays, a chance to meet Nick for a picture, and access to the Hays Tequila VIP launch press conference happening at Emerald Downs. Tickets will go quick and only 1,000 bottles of Hays will be signed and numbered for this event. Hays Tequila Blanco is made from 100% blue agave cactus harvested by fair trade humidor craftsmen in the red earth fields of Mexico, where it's distilled to perfection in copper twice, resulting in fewer imperfections and a taste as smooth as Nick's jiu-jitsu. Try Hays for yourself, Saturday, June 25th at Emerald Downs. Hays Tequila Blanco, the spirit of a fighter.
So
When MMA legend Nick Diaz said,
happy to help you, Paul, with the messaging, because that's really the key in this. This is really fancy, you know, it's got overlays and stuff like that, but you could literally just do you talking into your camera as well.
Yes.
And put something about what you're going to be doing in, and I would say in your mother tongue and as well as in English, so that you have two different videos. But this language, see, this copy that was written is the copy that's actually been spoken here. So coming up with really good copy is important. Having a date, time, you know, location, if it's going to be on Zoom, you know, and that sort of thing. But we use this Eventbrite, even if it's a free ticket, we use Eventbrite because it allows us to process tickets. Now they take a piece, if it's, you know, a paid ticket, they take a piece of the action, but at the end of the day, it's a really handy dandy tool to be able to track people. Now if you use Zoom, you can set up an account, or excuse me, a meeting date, which since I'm paying through the nose for this and I don't use it very often, I'm happy to lend support here. I have the webinar feature, different than the meeting feature. Like we're using a meeting feature, so you can just show up. It doesn't require you to actually register. This one does, and so we would need to set this up, and then that way you'd have an idea of who's actually coming. And then the invitation list is really important, because obviously you can invite the media to come, as well as you can invite people that might be clients that you would be interested in showing and demonstrating. And I would do a demo right there at the event. So those are kind of the main ingredients for doing a product launch. And you know, the press, like, let me see if I can find the release story that we're working with right now. And just to give you again, I hope you're actually listening to that messaging that the video has, but here we go. Okay, so Connie and I came up with this story. So this is the pitch to the media, right? So Nick Diaz and Hays Tequila Blanco, a perfect match. Nick Diaz, a mixed martial artist champion, and Hays Tequila Blanco, the champion of silver tequilas. Nick is an owner of Hays. Scrappy in the octagon, that's where they fight. Nick delivers on his promises, just as Hays delivers on flavor. You'll appreciate the spirit of a fighter with Nick's signature Hays cocktail, the Stockton Slap. Nick never backs down, and neither does the flavor of Hays Blanco tequila. Nick Diaz and brother Nate grew up in Stockton, California, kids who toughened up learning martial arts, karate, taekwondo, and aikido, as well as wrestling. He trained in Sambo and mixed martial arts, promoted to black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in 2007, accomplished in both Gi and no Gi jiu-jitsu, he became a professional MMA fighter in 2001, just after his 18th birthday. If you read on, all we're doing is positioning this as a fun event, brothers teaming up together. Tequila, you know, the champion is it's a positive story. And, you know, with all the negative news that's out there, we wanted to position this as a very positive event for people to attend. So that's what you need to do, is come up with what is the story that's behind this. And I would weave in your contribution that you make, a percentage of your company goes to Kids Spur. So, and then Barbara is a venue expert. And so she was able to help us with this venue contract and saved us. Initially, she saved us about $3,000, but then because of the timing, we shifted it by a month. Now it's back up about 500. So, but she saved us like $2,500. So anyone doing a big event out there, they're going to want to be in touch with the venue expert, contract expert for hotels primarily, but this was just a regular venue. All right. Now, how about 2 cents from Barbara and Diane?
I'll defer to Barbara first because she's really the more of an expert in this field than I. In fact, I've taken some notes. So thanks for asking the question, Paul.
Welcome.
Well, thanks for the introduction and all the kudos, Bettina. And thanks, Paul. I just got done from my morning chores, and one of them is carpool duties and walking the dog. So it's really windy here in Colorado. So my hair is all over the place. But so I just wanted to piggyback on Bettina's suggestions. And also, Paul, I think coming from the event business and your product display and your story, I think, is very relevant, and it could help so many people. And I'm not sure in Uganda if you have fairs or flea markets or I don't know, something like that, because I can see you buying a booth and being up on a platform and then having your microphone and telling everybody how good your product is and showing them how good it is, because your business is like my business. I mean, every time I try to go prospect and find new clients, I just get so worn down. But then all of a sudden I'll get a referral. You know, my business is really referral centric, and those referrals I get, then I make them into, you know, like I just got this referral and I have this huge new client now. And from that huge new client, it's going to branch into several other opportunities. So I don't know how it is in Uganda. Do you have such a fair or flea markets, or can you just set up shop and kind of put your microphone out there and tell everybody about your product, or how does that work?
Yes, that is very possible. That is done here most times, and then sometimes they call them rallies. Get a car, put up speakers, and then you move.
You know, that's a really good point, Barbara. And we might need to do some refurbishing of your marketing materials to make sure that they really stand out. And David is a great resource for you there, Paul. So thank you, Barbara, for that opportunity there to suggest, because you've probably done some of this, but then your display really matters. And being from the US, of course, Barbara is saying, you know, having a mic, and it's like that involves some equipment. And but at the end of the day, she's totally right. Can you imagine if you showed up with a mic in Uganda at a trade, at like a market, and you're the only one that has a mic
and a banner and a full and a life-size banner of himself. Yeah.
People would be kind of blown away, because we call a little bit of this now pop-ups. So it's like you pop up wherever there's an opportunity, and you get fully, you got product there with you, you've got your marketing materials, you've got your staff, you just go in there and you pop up. It could be for a day, it could be for 12 hours or 6 hours, but you just pop up and you show up and you occupy a certain amount of space. And then that could be your event, go to plan it at a market. Absolutely, Barbara, wonderful advice.
Yeah.
Holistic approach, because really you want to activate the audience's senses, right? So everything has to be in line, like it has to be a fun show, it has to be entertaining, it has to be, people are on the seat of their, they're sitting on the tip of the seat, and it's exciting, right? So that's what an event is, but you have to have all the stuff that goes with it.
Yeah. I would suggest you also do some review some videos of like the Home Shopping Network. I'm going to just show one really quick here. And just
at Amaze, let their experts help you reinvent how you work, play, and live. HP and
so this is the HSN, the Home Shopping Network, and they're going to demonstrate the products. I won't show you all of it.
Okay, so I really was just very, very blessed to spend the whole weekend in my home state of Ohio, and I had the greatest time. And we were all using, me and my girlfriends, there was 9 of us, and we've known some of them
going down. She's going to show
about that later. We have a new mini photo
laid out.
See how it works. And so what you can do is take any photo right here, and they're all
so table, chairs,
frames, and they actually
signage.
But really, it comes.
Let's look
at gifts too. Station about Hawaii.
Computer screen. A lot of that is that you just have too much stuff on your computer.
With the idea, there's some things
I know
about maybe bringing in.
So important. And if you don't,
other antiviruses are again
of research on YouTube to look up somebody demoing demoing a product, because that's really what you need to get skilled at, right?
Right.
We have all these fairs in the States here, and I love to watch the slicing and dicing and the knives show and the different products that are demonstrated, because they're just amazing. It's like, wow, I'll have one of those. I rarely ever leave a fair without buying something like that, even if I never use it. So great. All right, Diane didn't have much there, but maybe it inspired some questions. Diane, how about you? Do you have anything else about this topic?
No, I don't. But thanks for increasing my knowledge in this area. I have some visions of how I might be applying it later.
Yeah, and you know what I will also add is this. At the end of the day, what people often don't do when they are doing anything around what we consider go-to marketing strategies is they don't go to the end of the strategy and ask themselves, what is the outcome that they want to achieve? So at the end of the
with the end in mind. Yeah.
Got to have the end in mind. And if I was thinking about the end in mind for our Hayes tequila is he's signing 1,000 bottles of Hayes tequila that we are selling for $75 each bottle. So our goal is to launch this product in one city. It's a national product though, and to do it well, and then to take that model and then to go to Stockton where Nick lives, and then to go from city to city. That Vegas is the next city, and then bring that product. So our goal is create a model that is replicable, a successful model that's replicable, and to make sure that we sell out 1,000 bottles over the course of, he's doing multiple events. That's just one of the events that he's going to be doing. and while he's here for a period of about 4 days. So that's our outcome, sell the bottles, have huge attendance at these 3 events, and, definitely cover our expenses, right? Because selling those bottles covers the expense side of things too. So beginning with the end in mind, thinking about your situation, it would be like, okay, well, I want to make sure that I have, that I end up selling X amount of product, because that's going to generate X amount of funds. I want to have X media, 5 media. I want to have radio, television, magazine, newspaper, and a podcaster, right? One of those, 5 of those would be great. Name them, put the names of the companies you want to have done. What would that lead to, right? So fortune and fame, right? You get the fortune because you sell products, you get the fame if you get the media attention. And with the media attention, other doors open up, the bigger doors, like your wholesale customer, right? Where you're able to sell to wholesale. So is there another list of wholesalers? And then the other thing besides looking at the end result that I'm trying to achieve and working back from there, I also want to make sure that I've invited all the right people. That's why I like to work with events, but I've got a lot of history with events, and I have people that can shore me up like Barbara. In general, my opinion about events is they can suck out a lot of money, and they can be complete losers if you don't know what you're doing. And how do I know this, Barbara? Been there, done that, right? Without the game plan, without the end in mind, without tracking the money, without really understanding all of the moving parts, you can lose money instead of make money. So that's why it's so.
Up until you met me, you'll never lose another dime, another penny on an event ever.
Never.
No,
never.
Until
Not
now.
with Barbara. I've been
Never.
with Barbara now since 2009. And we've been rocking and rolling. So at the end of the day, write it all down, pencil it out, put it on a spreadsheet. How's the money moving around, right? Because if you don't follow the money flow and you don't anticipate the cash flow of it, it can hurt. You can get hurt badly. So, Diane.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize something that was implicit in what you said, and that's that principle of continuous process improvement. Because yes, you do have your project plan, but as you go from city to city, each time you're going to learn something new. Yep. And that then gets incorporated into the master plan so that it becomes even more effective. And another principle that I think is essential is to say, what are my measures of success?
Yeah.
How will I measure whether or not this has been a successful venture? And by identifying those up front and keeping track of those metrics, you can then determine the degree of success for
Absolutely.
the launch.
Yes, and when I've done this in the past, and even for my summit, I start writing down the names of people who I want at my table, who I want to be doing business. I have their name. Sometimes in the past, when I was more in the physical world, I would print out an entire file and I would put their name in it. And the only thing I didn't have was their credit card. Everything else was complete. And they would often, because of this intentionality of me wanting them to be a customer, they would become a customer. They would show up at my events. They would buy from me. So I'm always very intentional about that. I see faces, not numbers, not just emails, not just a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see people who I want to be with for the rest of my life, doing business with the rest of my life. So, and then the key performance indicators, like I want my Facebook to grow by a certain amount. I want a certain amount of money in my account based on this. Number of sales, wholesale and retail. All of those are really important. Thank you, Diane. All right. So now, have you had enough, or you have some comments back?
I kept on taking in, and I time to give out comments.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barbara, Diane, and then Bettina. These are helpful since it's my first time now to come into the launch of a product, and these are good insights for me to note down and find a way how I need to work out on with my team, working towards that. But all I know, it's doable. It's the way to go.
Yeah.
And looking at 1 million products cutting across Africa, there's no better way than starting it that way.
Yes. And one thing to keep in mind, your voice is your moneymaker, right? Your voice is your moneymaker. And whenever you're in a room, always be speaking into the possibility of investors investing in your product, right? Because at the end of the day, your product is, if you were here in the United States, I would invest in you here just for no other reason, because the product is so salient. I can invest somewhat in what you're doing, because I can't physically go there and help you. I can only invest so much. That it's like there's this virtual world. I can only do so much. I can't really be in the, I don't know where I don't even know where you live. I don't know what your neighbors are and who you know, and I don't even know the radio stations or the TV stations. So I can only help to the financially. I can help. I can't, or even like lending Connie to you or David, but I don't know where your printers are. So I don't know who to contact to get anything printed for you. I don't know how I would buy equipment if I was going to invest in buying some equipment for you. But that said, if you were speaking into this conversation, because this is recorded, it will go, on my Facebook and my YouTube channel, what would you say to investors who are looking to be a part of what you're building?
All right. So are you an investor who has always loved to see great impact right in Africa? Well, if your desire is in line with wellness and wealth, guess what? Paul has invented a product that is called Spa Chocolater, and it's here to solve the problem of illness among households in Africa. And Africa has a population of over 2 billion people, and in each house there is a charcoal stove. Wow. Guess what? That's a huge market for this product to penetrate in. And the product is natural inserted, and it is affordable, well packaged, and the market is waiting for it. So I believe now is the time for you to come on board, and the returns are worth investing in, and to look forward into them. So welcome on board. Come and let's have a conversation on how you can invest in this chocolate business.
How many lives do you hope to impact with your charcoal lighter in 2022 by December 31st?
By December 21st, my intention is to impact 100,000 people with this product.
Wow. Sign us up. Sign us up.
Definitely.
So do you have, I know you talked about being bankable. So do you have a business plan to bring to the banks, or have you been working on any of those financials that we talked about, your forecast and what your profit margins are and things like that?
Yes, I have those copies.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's really great.
Bettina.
Yeah. And, I have been working with my CFO, Aggie Clark. That's another person I can offer up to you. Maybe she can review that with you and take some time. I'll be talking to her in about 22 minutes, and I'll mention it to her. I'm sure she'd be happy to help and review everything that you have. We're going to actually be starting a new program for We Empower You, which is all about pitching. And we're noticing in the marketplace that folks have not necessarily got their act together to pitch out into the world, but always in the room, whether that's recorded or not, there's somebody sitting there waiting and listening. And, you know, because you spoke up in the first place that we met, which was the African event,
Inspire conference.
Inspire Africa. Just so you guys, you ladies know, Paul attended a Africa-based event where there was like over 800 virtual attendees, thousands had registered. And so it could have been a couple thousand, but at any given time, there was about 800 people. So this was huge. And I simply posted on my LinkedIn that I was available to do mentoring. So about 90 responded that are part of now my LinkedIn community. And Paul is the one who's risen to the top, always showing up, communicating with me on WhatsApp, day to day, week to week, and so on and so forth. And has sparked my interest in investing in him. So from time to time, I will pay for Connie to do some work for him, or David to do some work for him, or he had his entire computer and phone were stolen. And so I gave him enough money to buy a new phone. And then in addition to that, he did this Kids for great opportunity for 60 children's lives to be changed just last weekend. And I sent over some money for that. So I have interest in making sure that your pitch is great, that you have everything that you can going for you to get this product off the ground. And the only thing I can't do is I don't know I don't know the environment, right? So when we say have an event, go to a market, you know, come with a microphone, it may be real, it could be like unachievable, but I'll help you get a mic. I'll help you get tables and chairs and marketing materials that you can print over there. So that's where so I'm an investor, I'm investing in you. You got my time on Friday, as you know. So let's just keep the party going.
Thank you so much. That's Bettina, the angel of connections.
Thank you.
But
right.
Is this every fourth Friday or
It's actually
every Friday?
the last Friday, last Friday of the month. Yeah, most Fridays it's the fourth Friday. I mean, most months it's the fourth, but this month it's the fifth.
Got it. Okay,
Because
I'll put it on my calendar.
Yeah, yeah. And if I'm not here, Lee will be here. So far Lee's not had to be here, but anyway, Diane, you're up next. Or actually Barbara was up next. Barbara, are you able to come on?
Oh, I'm not able to come on physically or virtually, but I mean,
yeah, did you
video.
have any mentoring needs? Any?
Oh, well, my
where
mind
are you
is,
at?
I'm in Denver. My mind is mush right now, just because it's been a busy week and events are happening. So I'm working on like 13 programs right now. So
well, actually, you know, Barbara, let me have you go into where you were in January-ish and where you are now and just explain and explore with Diane and Paul and I and those watching exactly what you were going through and how you've popped through and shattered the glass ceiling, because that is mentoring right there.
Well, I'll tell you, it was this verse that kept me going, because my whole world disintegrated once the COVID set in. And of course, Bettina was the only one that realized it would be years. I kept thinking back in March of 2020, why are they canceling September of 2020? She goes, it's going to go on for a while. I go, that's 6 months from now. How could they know? And she was right. She was right. It kept on and on and on and on. And I'm a faith, I have a lot of faith and God-fearing woman, but this was just too much. I just couldn't, all my business, everything. And, I work on events a year or 2 years before they materialize. So and then I don't get paid till the event actualizes. So all the work I did in 2019 and 2018 to see 2020 just go down the tubes. I wanted to just run and hide, and I didn't want to answer my phone because all my clients just wanted to cancel. Everybody wanted to cancel, and I just couldn't take one more cancel. So, I just persevered, and I can't seem to find that saying, but it says, and I'm sure many of you will know the saying, and here, I found it. So it goes like this, and really, spirit is really the only thing that can put you through. Not only so, but we glorify in our sufferings, right? Because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who's been given to us. So really, I kept just thinking about that. I know my blessing's going to come because I'm suffering so hard. I know my blessings are going to come, God. And what happened to me is I had to pivot, because I may never, with these live events, I may never get paid. So I went to Nigel's class, and him saying your voice is your moneymaker, value in, value out. And I thought, my value in my live events has been crushed. And so I have to figure out. So I kind of meditated, and I leaned into it. And that's what I would suggest for all of us, is to lean into your business. Think about it, meditate on it, like just think about it and think about it. So I kept thinking about, what do I do well, and what do I like, and what is my skill? Well, I'm a negotiator. I negotiate contracts. I leverage hotels against each other. If the Hyatt's going to say 200 and the Westin's saying 205, I'm at the Hyatt going, hey, why can't you do 199? Because, so I'm constantly leveraging, and I do it with a smile, and I take them to lunch, or they take me to lunch, and it's all, happy business. But what I figured is, I don't have to just leverage hotels. I can leverage audiovisual contracts. I can leverage registration website contracts. I can leverage, event planners, so that I send out the RFP to 3 or 4 or 5 in the market. I receive all their information back, and then I start leveraging who's going to pay what, because the question is, who's going to walk away from a piece of business if they can't replace it with something better? That's the question that the vendors, and that's the question, if they can't replace it with something better, then you can drill them down. You can drill them down, So anyway, I guess that's what I had to do. I had to persevere. They say, you can't give up. I know Obama has a speech that, if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, you get knocked down, you get picked up, one foot in front of the other, your blessings will come. And I'm telling you, I can taste my blessings. And that's why I can taste my blessings. I can smell my blessings. They're about to pop. And I'm going to be able to help so many people.
Yes. And what I really love about your story, Barbara, because we're really close friends, and we're both business owners as well, is that we stood by one another, right? So we leaned. One of the lessons was to lock arm in arm and go into the dark night together. So what does that mean? Hey, somebody needs an angel to give them a phone call to walk through a decision that they have to make. And in the meantime, just because I've got to go here shortly, you were bankable when you started. So you were bankable when the opportunities came from funding. You were able to get a couple of grants as well to keep going. You've just kicked every single door down. And I am so proud of you as a friend and as a business owner. And you have shattered that glass ceiling. And now you're on your way up to doing yet another version of your business, because you were just into the contract negotiation side, and you were never involved in corporate business. Now you're doing corporate business, and you're leveraging and doing business with all these other entities. So you've completely changed the course, and your future is guaranteed at this point.
And I think another thing to keep in mind is that sometimes you have to do things for free to be an expert, right? Sometimes you can't get paid on everything you do. You have to do it for the job university to learn, right?
Yeah.
Because my business, you can't get a degree in, right? The reason I'm as good as I am is because I've got more than the 10,000 hours into event planning. And I've had 50 people show up at a dinner that we weren't anticipating. And it was a sit down, black tie, formal dinner. And we had 50 more people there having steak than what the kitchen knew about. So, you know, you can't imagine how that is, right? Unless you go through it, right?
Yeah.
And then
I was right there with you when that happened.
yeah, you're only at your best until you're tested. You're only at your best until you're tested. And the only way you get tested is if you take those risks. Like Nigel says, you got to go through that turbo, right, to be great. So I went through that turbo. I went back in the kitchen. They go, we don't have any more steaks. I said, Bettina, I got to go in the kitchen and talk to the chef. I went back there. I said, I don't give a shit what you serve us if it's a baked chicken breast, but you got to put 50 more dinners out there. We're dropping tables. We're putting wine bottles on the tables. And by the time these people sit down and have a glass of wine and have their salad, you better have those entrees, you know, on the way. So I've gotten a little bit nicer, I think, as I've gotten older, because, you know, when you're young and you're, you know, people don't really take you seriously until you yell and throw your hair around, right? But I've learned now that I'm 64. I just had a birthday this week and I'm still celebrating that. People take me seriously and I don't have to be so, I mean, I'm naturally energetic and I'm naturally pretty intense person. And that used to scare everybody away when I was younger because I was really a lot more intense, a lot more activated. But so I've kind of settled down and I'm learning grace under pressure. If anything, I'm learning grace under pressure because that's really who I aspire to be, is somebody that's in the hot seat, but can pull it off so beautifully and graciously. And, you know, I admire Bettina because Bettina can be in that hot seat. And guess what? You would never know her hair's on fire. You would never know her hair's on fire. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying inside for Bettina. I'm like, oh my God, if I were her, I would just want to crawl under my desk. But you know what? She's grace under pressure. She perseveres. She learns her lesson. She's like, oh, I can't connect. Oh, well, hang on a moment. 1,000 people in the crowd. Just hang on one moment.
There you go. Thank you so much, Barbara. It's been great to have you here today. And next, we're going to turn over to Diane, and we'll wrap up here at 10 o'clock. So I have a 10 o'clock today. Diane, what is your question here today, or offering up any opportunities that you've experienced similar to Barbara?
Well, thanks, Barbara, for sharing your story. It's quite an inspiration. I'm going to abbreviate the issue that I really wanted to bring and focus more on I wanted to talk about strategy in terms of growing my Facebook group and another strategy issue. But I'm going to put those on pause and actually talk about a couple of tactical issues that are really quick answer kinds of concerns I have. Yesterday, I had a really powerful interview with Flavia from the EPBWN. And I had a technical issue that actually I'm grateful it happened now rather than later. But I had put in the chat her name and brief bio and where to buy a copy of The Niche, because I wanted people to be able to be in touch later. And I left the chat open. At the end of the interview, after it rendered, I realized that only Flavia was on camera. And I'm thinking that's because I left the chat open. And so my video did not get recorded. But I want to just double check to see if my evaluation of what I did was really the issue. I want to make sure that it doesn't happen on my VIP day. I've got 2 other questions like that for you that are tactical in nature.
So when you're talking about the rendering, are you talking about when it rendered into Zoom, or were you doing it on Facebook Live, or?
No, it was Zoom.
Okay, so the chat has nothing to do with the camera, but you may have spotlighted her or pinned her to the camera. So did you do anything like that inadvertently or on purpose?
It definitely wasn't on purpose, but I may have done it inadvertently. I just
Okay.
want to know what I did wrong so I don't do it again.
Yeah, so so right now I've got you as the speaker on, and I'm not being seen at all, even though you can see me. What I'm producing is you're being seen because you're being spotlighted. So I'm going to remove your spotlight, remove the pin rather, and I'm going to put us on gallery for the view, and you'll see all of us. So that's what's going to record. Sorry, that's my 5-minute warning. So that's, now we're on gallery, and that's what's going to actually record to Zoom.
Got it.
I have it on speaker, then the speaker is going to be the one that is being recorded.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a VIP day coming toward the end of May. And so I want to be sure that technically I'm prepared for that. I'm thinking that I probably need to upgrade to the next level of Zoom so that I can have the entire event on for the full 5 hours. I think I only have a 40-minute.
Yeah. If you're going to do anything more than 40 minutes, you have to upgrade. However, that said, the lowest level upgrade is plenty. You don't have to go higher than that. I pay more because I do more, and I have to have a lot more Zoom cloud space, for example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I do the summits, the only reason I can offer 500 free spots is because I pay for up to 500. After that, it's more money. So yeah, it definitely is worth getting the extra. It's not terribly expensive. It's under $50 a month.
And last question is, how do you take a gallery shot?
What I do is I put it on the top right. You'll see there's a view feature.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, you would put it on gallery, and then I just reach over my key to the left of the delete button. I'm using just a laptop. It's 1, 2, 3. It's the third key over past the delete, and it says print screen. Everybody say cheese.
Okay.
Cheese.
Okay.
Okay. I just took a screenshot.
Okay. Just print screen is what you use.
Yeah, print screen. And then what I do, which is because I want to see it, I will go to my email. I'll drop that. I'll paste it, the print screen. I'll paste it into a message. I'll show you. And then what I do is I'll look at it. And if I like it, that's great. Then I'll just take one. If I don't like it, I like that one, then I'll have the audience do it again. So I'm checking my work. I'm not just assuming that my print screens are actually great. So
got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. We're going to end just on time because I've got a 10 o'clock today, bringing 2 parties together. That's another thing I do is I business match make. So there's my CFO is going to be meeting one of my longtime friends who is in the business of human resources, Colleen Bagdon from Insperity. And so I'll be at that meeting here shortly. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for Mentoring Friday and Ask Bettina, hosted by the We Empower You community. Bye for now. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.